What you see is only the effect. Here we look for the cause. This is the first episode of Dark Side of the World, the series where we do not stop at the headline, we do not accept the convenient explanation, and we do not look at reality only from the side that is already lit. We follow the hidden thread, the one that starts with a detail that does not fit and leads us back to where the story really begins. Today, we begin with artificial intelligence. Not because this is only a technology story, but because AI is one of the most powerful narratives of our time. We are told that artificial intelligence comes from data, algorithms, computing power, models, servers, research, and innovation. And that is true, at least in part. But it is not the whole truth, because if we only look at that side of the story, we see the final product, not the origin. The detail that does not fit is very simple. If artificial intelligence is truly autonomous, if it really learns by itself, if it really is an inevitable force coming from the future, why does it still need thousands of invisible people reading, labeling, ranking, correcting, and filtering? Before an answer looks intelligent, someone has to teach the system what a good answer should look like. Before it looks safe, someone has to show it what must be avoided. Before it looks neutral, someone has to define the criteria. And before it looks autonomous, someone has to remove the human dependency from the story. Like this video and subscribe now, because here we are not looking at the storefront. We are walking into the back room of reality. According to an investigation by Time, workers in Kenya connected to Sama reviewed traumatic content to help make ChatGPT less toxic. We are talking about violent, abusive, disturbing material, the kind of content most people would never want to read even once, and that someone had to analyze for hours, day after day. According to that investigation, some of those workers were paid less than $2 an hour. But if we stop at the wage, we are still on the surface. The wage matters. The working conditions matter. Psychological support matters. But the deeper question is different. Why does this work have to remain invisible? Why is it that when we talk about artificial intelligence, we always see the model, the logo, the app, the clean answer, the promise of efficiency, and the language of the future, but we almost never see the people who prepared the ground for that clean answer to exist? This is where the hidden thread becomes important. Artificial intelligence has to look autonomous because the myth of autonomy gives it authority. If it looks like pure computation, it looks more neutral. If it looks neutral, it looks more trustworthy. If it looks inevitable, we stop asking who built it, who shaped it, who corrected it, and according to which criteria. The point is not to say that AI is fake. The point is to understand that the story around AI is incomplete. A model does not learn the world. A model learns a selection of the world. And a selection is never neutral. Someone decides what goes in, what stays out, what counts as an error, what counts as noise, what counts as dangerous, and what is allowed to pass as normal. When a system learns from that selection, it is not absorbing pure reality. It is absorbing an organized version of reality, a reality cleaned, filtered, structured, and turned into something a model can process. And inside that order there are human choices, cultural criteria, corporate interests, political limits, legal fears, and worldviews. This is the part that is almost never shown. Technology is presented as the main subject, but very often the real subject is the criterion behind it. Who decides what is toxic? Who decides what is safe? Who decides what must be blocked? Who decides what must be corrected? Who decides which version of the world is allowed to look normal? Moderation is presented as a technical function, but it is not only technical. It is also cultural. It is also political. Because deciding what must be blocked means deciding what can circulate. Deciding what must be corrected means deciding which mistakes can be tolerated. Deciding what must not be shown means deciding which part of the world remains outside the light. This does not mean that every filter is wrong. It does not mean that everything should be allowed. It does not mean that safety does not matter. It means something much more serious. Every filter is a choice, and every choice should be visible, understandable, accountable, and open to scrutiny. In 2026, AP reported that Sama would lay off 1,108 workers in Kenya after Meta ended a major contract. Again, the number is powerful, but the number is not enough. The point is the mechanism. People working inside a global chain become essential when they are needed to make a system acceptable, and then they disappear from the story when that system changes, when the contract ends, when the structure moves somewhere else. The brand remains visible. The product remains visible. The platform remains visible. The worker does not. Samo mapped at least 30 intermediaries used by major technology companies for data work. That means that between the user who sees the final product and the person actually working on the data, there can be contracts, subcontractors, platforms, suppliers, and intermediary companies. The longer the chain becomes, the harder it is to see the origin. And when you can no longer see the origin, it becomes easier to believe the myth of a system that works by itself. But no system truly works by itself. Every system has a before. Every answer has a history. Every apparent neutrality has criteria behind it. And every time something is presented as natural, you have to ask who benefits from making it look natural. This is the central point. Real power is not only controlling what happens. Real power is controlling what looks normal. When a technology looks inevitable, we stop asking who chose it. When an answer looks neutral, we stop asking which criteria produced it. When a system looks autonomous, we stop seeing the people who made it possible. So artificial intelligence is not only a technology. It is also a story told in a specific way. A story where the model is at the center, the company is visible, innovation is celebrated, and the human work that made all of it possible is pushed to the margins. Dark side of the world exists for this reason. Not to say that everything is a conspiracy. That is the easiest and laziest shortcut. Here we do the opposite. We start from a fact, we look for the detail that does not fit, we follow the hidden thread, and we go back to the point where the story really begins. With AI, that point is not only the server, not only the model, not only the algorithm. It is the selection. It is the criterion. It is the invisible human work. It is the need to make a technology look autonomous, even though before becoming convincing, it had to be guided, corrected, limited, and shaped. So the next time an AI gives you a precise, clean, apparently neutral answer, do not only ask whether that answer is right. Ask which world it came from. Ask who selected that world. Ask which parts were removed before the answer reached you. The headline is only the surface. The hidden thread is where the truth begins. Like this video, subscribe now, and watch the next episode. This is Dark Side of the World, and here we do not chase the news. We look for where the story really begins.